What's going on, Jackson, Mississippi? How's everybody doing? How you doing today? Yup, today is Tuesday, August. This is August the 25th of 2026. Yeah, I'm Raphael Bird. I'm your host today on the 601 Network. This is Real Jackson News. Yo, I want to get into today a little bit about this, that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things that I do want to talk about is we're gonna talk about the city council. We're gonna talk about, a few other things that's going on around here in the city of Jackson. Um, and I'm gonna touch a little bit about, that thing with the president. But anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a real good night's sleep and everything. And I hope that whether you're going to work, coming from work, or even if you're at work, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on yesterday. I apologize for that. I am still studying my computer programming, and so I just had to take a little breather for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like buckle down with that and kind of focus and zero in on that. It's a lot of typing that I have to do. So I wanted to kind of keep that, keep staying apprised on on all the new stuff that's going on. Well, not the new stuff, but on some new things that I got going on with dealing with that. Making up new programs and doing exercises and things like that. So, but nevertheless, anyway, I'm back here on a Tuesday, and I want you, like I said, I just hope and pray that, that everything goes well for you. I hope you had a real good weekend, as far as myself, everything on this end was good, no problems, that I couldn't take care of, because if I don't do it, it won't get done. I guarantee you that. Bet that. But anyway, yo. So, but anyway, I was reviewing something. Just like some little thing that's kind of like was like on my mind, because I remember this a long time ago when my elder aunts and uncles used to talk about cattle and farming and all that kind of stuff. And it brought me to that when I was looking at how the president, your president, is trying to bring in this beef, from elsewhere. And a lot of these cattle ranchers is upset about it. Now, I don't know too much about this, but if there's a shortage somewhere, see, this is how you know something's going on other than what they're saying. Why are they upset? Why are they upset? See, it could be two or three things at one time. Why are the cattle ranchers upset if there's a shortage? And he coming in here trying to lower the prices because if it's shortage on cattle or whatever, they're gonna jack the prices up. That's common sense. If it's a shortage on something, they're gonna jack the prices up. Y'all remember what they did with when I think was it when COVID hit, and they were short on certain food and they jacked the prices up. Well, my point is because they couldn't manufacture fast enough. Remember, but what I'm saying is that if there's a shortage on beef, that's why they jack the prices up. But if you coming in here with cattle, you know what I'm saying? It's either going one or two things. They're going either there is no shortage, and they're being jackasses, or he gonna come in here and gonna flood the market and drive them out of business. You know what I'm saying? Part of his maybe that was his part of his deal. His deals he had been making. He had been making with maybe folks in Mexico, maybe folks down south in South America. You never know. You never know. He made deals. So if he made deals to do that, what else going on? You know what I'm saying? And then cattle ranchers is mad about it. Because believe it or not, the cattle ranchers, what they call it, XL Foods and XL Meats and all that, man, they got monopoly on that mess. They got a monopoly on that. They've been having a monopoly on it forever. Go to Texas. Man, Texas got a whole damn town full of goddamn cows and stuff. Angus beefs and all that mess. I'm telling you. Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. Man, please. Man, please, New Mexico. Up there in Nebraska. Man, come on, man. They got beef places everywhere up in that Midwest. But what I'm saying to you is, if there's a shortage, that's going to help them. So if that's not, so if they mad if they mad at the help, what does that mean? What does that really mean? If that's the case and they short, let's just look at this for a minute. If they short on beef and they mad and they mad, that means that they were trying to monopolize it. They're trying to monopolize it. This is how you know something going on. You know what I'm saying? So if they are not that, then it could be they're not short. They just want to jack the prices up. And or he trying to get control of the stock market. See my point? Plain landed. You're president. What? You're president. Man, please. Tell you a lot going on. A lot going on. You know? And it's just like, for me, I'm like, these people, you know, people are not stupid. The people is not stupid. I don't know anything about this. See, but let me say this. Let me say something else too. I was alluding to earlier, like when I first started talking about this. My aunts and uncles and them, they used to talk about this all the time, about how the government used to pay my grandfather not to grow, you know, like not to grow certain, a certain amount of vegetables, peanuts, vegetation, fruit. He was paid because my grandfather had like about 2 acres. He had just 2 acres, nothing but a whole field. Wasn't a garden, it was a field. Literally, we had to go out there with a tractor. We had to ride on the tractor, and with the little copper sacks and pick whatever we was required to pick. Back in the days, I was a little bitty boy. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we did. We ain't no sharecropping nothing like that. It was just they just had a big field. He was just my grandpops was like he was just on some old plentiful type stuff. You know what I mean? And the funny thing about it is my grandmom's, she had a garden on the side of her house. Well, she can run out real quick and pick whatever she want. She had on the little side of her house, you know what I'm saying? But out there in the field, they had grown a bunch of stuff. But see, they paid him not to grow. See what I'm saying? So let's same thing with cotton. Cause further ways over, like maybe like a block over, his brother he had a cotton field, and they would bale up a hay of cotton, and that would last them for the whole year. One bale of cotton. You know what I'm saying? That would last them for the whole year. Cause they make some bread. That's the bread. That cotton was one. You know what I'm saying? And they would be able to have one, because I used to come down here and I used to look at that one bale. It might be like 2. Sometimes it might be like 2, but they only sell like 1, and that lasts them the whole year. because they make up a lot of bread. They make some money. They make some money on it. But see, what I'm saying is, my grandparents they was told not to grow a certain amount. And I remember that clear as day. You know what I'm saying? When they that came out my grandfather's mouth. They told them not. They paid them. They cut them a check. I think it's every month or something like that, not to grow a certain amount of food. So my grandfather would, certain people would come and buy stuff from him, like privately, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. But yeah, but as far as taking it to the market, no, because they was like, cause they number one, they thought, well, it's going to cause inflation. So that's bull crap. They just trying to get up. They like I said, all them cattle farmers and stuff like that out there out west that was growing that mess, it was hurting them because they had to lower their price. See what I'm saying? Come on, man. Well, that's what I want to say about that. Am I playing on now? I'm gonna let my plane on that too. So, but yeah, yo. So, but anyway. Oh, so early this morning. It was early this morning. No, it was late last night. I was looking at the special meeting that the city council had held about an hour or so. I don't know if it was Friday or whatever it was, but I was looking at it. Might have been that day. I just don't remember. But I know they had been talking about that, getting their budget together. Because I talked about that budget meeting before, and the council had, they had brought it to the council and they was talking about it, whatever. But the highlight of the meeting was Ken Stokes, and he was literally giving history lessons on what could happen, what should not be happening, and the reason why. He was giving reasonings, and that's the key. He just wasn't ranting. He just running his mouth. He was giving reasons. They want to go up on the millage, right? So you don't need to go up on the millage. City of Jackson don't need no more taxes, because if they go up on property taxes, they're gonna go up on your car taxes, because the car is an extension to your house. Remember that. The car is an extension to your house. And if they go up on your property taxes, you're going to go up on your car tax, your car tag. Now, whether you're in an apartment or you're in a house, you got a car, you're going to get you're going to feel a tax. See, and then you got local businesses that's going to jack their taxes up. They don't need, it's a trickle effect. Then you're wondering why. If Madison and Rankin County have a better deal, business is going to go somewhere else. And that's a fact. Taxes is cheap. Taxes is cheaper. That's probably why, what was it when my daughter was telling me, she said that Angry Roosters and shut down over in Western Plaza. Could that be why? The taxes? Could that be why the taxes? So what's really going on? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason or whatever the case may be. Maybe they wasn't making the revenue wasn't there. Maybe they wasn't pulling in the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Make rent and all that kind of jazz. But regardless of the fact, all I'm saying is that they don't need to. I'm with him. They don't need to raise no more taxes. See, because he gave reasonings. He gave reasonings. We got the fit. We got the fund that we got I had to come to a consensus about it in my mind. We got to, because I didn't understand. We got to fund the police department. That police department, that lady need everything she asking for. Whatever she's budgeted for, they need to go up on it another another $100,000-$200,000 in my mind. Get up and whatever she's asking for. Whatever she's asking for. See what I'm saying? Because like I said, you can't do business when the bullets are flying. In these control areas, you need to get it under. In these areas, that's these high crime areas, you need to get it under control. You need to get it under control, and that's a fact, off the rip. I understand. They're trying to build these jailhouses and all that stuff, which I understand that, but we need to get this police thing under control. And if they don't get it under control, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up and down. Your state is gonna take it over. They're gonna merge that Capitol Police with the city police, and that ain't good. What happened to back in the days? Each precinct had their own budget. The captain of the precinct, they got their own budget. The mayor didn't have to deal with that. The chief of police dealt with it. The chief of police made sure that those captains or those precincts got their own budget. And if anything that was needed, they got it. Whatever happened to that? Why they don't run the city like that? Why they don't centralize? The dispatcher system needs to be centralized. I'm telling you. So what's really going on? They tripping. They tripping. That police academy. Why they ain't running around? Why they ain't running around like they used to? They built that track over there by that police academy just for that. They built that track just for that. For those police officers. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Only thing I can tell you, they're acting ass backwards. No money. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line to it. Chief Wade was in, crime was down. Tyrese, crime was down. Brackney, she gonna come in. She ain't gonna put a band-aid over it. You gonna treat me the same damn way you treated them. It's crime coming down. Whether you like it or you don't. Now she gotta implement some things, baby. Make it happen. Make it happen. She ain't got to raise her voice. All she got to do is carry a big stick. Believe me, you when I tell you. Because Frank Milton didn't. He didn't raise his voice. He just carried a big stick. Smart man. Smart man. You didn't have to raise your voice. Just carry a big stick. Jokers get the point. Jokers get the point. But like I said, that police department, that fire department, all them responders needs to be funded. And I'm talking about funded. You don't need to go up on no millage, none of that. Hell, I don't even know what a millage means. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. But it's got to do something with raising taxes. I don't know what it means, and I ain't finna guess. I'll look it up. I'll look it up when I come off here, and I'll, you know what I'm saying, and like I said, but so I can get a clear understanding to what that really means. But if that's if it has something to do with raising the taxes on the residents and the businesses, that's gonna hurt everything. That's gonna hurt everything. And I know we had a funding issue, but there's something else going on. I can't see why we can't run the city with the budget that we have. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing what's going on. Something else is going on. Something else is going on that you know, that has been going on for a long time, and they just now catching it. Cause I've been looking at the meetings. Yo, it is something going on. I can tell you that off the rip. There's something going on. Cause J-Tran ain't clear. J-Tran is not clear. I ain't heard one thing about them talking about grant funds. How much grant funds can y'all allocate into certain aspects of the city in order to reduce what the revenue y'all bring, so y'all can get some savings in, so y'all can allocate that money elsewhere? I ain't heard them say nothing about that. Alright. So, but look, I could be wrong. I stand 10 toes down on me being wrong. I stand corrected, rather. I stand corrected. But I hadn't heard anything about no J-Tran, yeah. Cause J-Tran got $1 million buses. One bus, $1 million. They got 2 and expecting 4 more. Now, I'm gonna go into that for a minute. I'm gonna go back into it. I'm gonna hark on it because I want to do it as a reminder. Where did they get their money from? Oh, she said there was some fun. Christina Welch said it's Christina Welch, executive director of J-Tran, said there was funds left over from the COVID-19 pandemic, right? And they had to spend those funds, or they had to send them back. All of a sudden now they got funds from somewhere. They got funds from over here, over here, over here. All that. Right? Now, you got $1 million buses. So look at it. So what's really going on? How in the world that you're gonna put $1 million bus on the street where your streets ain't paved correctly? What is going on? Either we making bad decisions. Either we're making bad decisions, or there's something more to this picture that ain't being said. Who authorized her to do that? Who authorized her to seek out these buses that's going to withstand our cities? This is what she said. We got to get these buses in because they can withstand the shocks of our bad streets. You couldn't have got consulted for that. You couldn't got consulted for that. So what? You had to send the money back. But you could have got some cheaper buses that would have withstand those shocks. What's really going on, Jackson? See, look. You call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to call me. I'm looking at this thing for what it is, not for what it is. Cause if you got 2 buses already out here, you got 4 more coming in. That's $6 million. $6 million. And there's something going on within that budget Because like I said before, they got to pay. You know they're going to pay MV Transport back. You know they're going to pay him, and that's a fact. MV Transport ain't gonna operate at no loss. There's some promise and deals been made behind the scenes, money being found somewhere, and they gonna get their bread. So this is what I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. You know? Whatever happens, I guarantee you, y'all, remember the 601 brought it to you. I'm bringing it to you off the rip. Today is August the 25th, 2026. I'm gonna say that date again because you guess where you heard it from. Real talk. Real talk. And you gotta understand something. Understand what I'm saying. You know, I don't believe that she picked them buses because it's going to absorb the shock that goes on with the bad streets. Because they could have did that with a cheaper bus. And I'm telling you, City Council ain't happy about that. City Council is not happy about that. Either they're not happy about it, or they know about it, and they know that they got to pay it. They know they got... They happy. They knew about it and they trying to play like they wasn't. But either way, they know MV Transport got to get paid back. Probably why they really ain't fussing about it. MV Transport probably told them he probably told them they had the she probably had been. I'm telling you, probably making deals with MV Transport before Transdev came in. I probably so. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if they had been making deals with MV Transport before Transdev came in. And MV Transport had been soliciting them and telling them you can get these buses for this, whatever. And she was looking at it as under advisement, and she said, well, when their contract goes up, we're gonna bring y'all in. I wouldn't be surprised. That type of shit like that, go down, baby. This is business. This ain't personal. This is business. If Transdev wasn't doing the job like they were supposed to, and MV Transport had solicited services, yo, shit, why not? So I'm just gonna keep that real. They got something cracking going. They got something going on. There's something more going on here in the city too. They didn't put them buses out here. They didn't get them buses out here for no reason. 6 buses? $1 million buses? Oh yeah, they finna move some people. They know they finna move some people. Because they're gonna set up these routes. They're gonna set up these apartments. They're gonna set up everything. It's coming, baby. It's coming. You heard it here. The 601 Network. Yo, it's no fluff. I'm just going to give it a buck. Always. Yo, resident. We see y'all tomorrow. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Yo, hey, look here. For all of y'all that support me, I want to say thank you. Thanks for all that support. You know what I'm saying? Yo, thanks for subscribing. Yo, share out this video. Yo, give me a like. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I really appreciate this. Thank you very much. And we'll talk to y'all tomorrow.